All right, so let's talk about AI tools to supercharge your content creation. So right about now, I'm going to be sharing quickly AI tools that will help you in your content creation journey. Now, these tools, like I always say, are assistive tools that, you need to know how to use, right? You need to be able to know how to use. Now, before we go any further, I would like to clearly state that some of the tools that I'm going to be sharing are tools that you need to pay to get access to, some of them also have free versions, but they are very, very limited. And so the whole purpose of me sharing some of these tools is so that you can be able to have idea and you can get acquainted with other alternative tools out there in your spare time. But one thing is certain, right? If you're serious about content, your content creation journey, you need to be willing to pay for software. You need to be able to pay for apps that would make life easier for you. I'm going to show you how some of these AI tools can help your content creation journey so easy that you'll be tempted to want to pay for all of them. And so let's just go dive right in. Right, the first one we have here is AI idea generation and planning. So what I did was I categorized all of these tools into, a particular to be under a group, right? So we have certain tools under different groups. Now, it's not like these tools cannot perform what other tools in another category can perform, right? It's just more about showing you their strengths and showing you how you can easily use these tools. So to easily use these tools, right, in such a way that you are maximizing them to the best of your ability. So when it comes to idea generation and planning, these are some of the tools that I highly recommend. We have ChatGPT, we have Jasper AI, we have Copy AI, we have Notion AI. Others that I would love to add to this list is Cloud by Anthropic, right? Gemini AI as well. Um, I I don't know why I did not add Cloud. Yeah, I should have actually added it. But yeah, those are tools that I would readily recommend. Now, ChatGPT is a AI tool that we're all quite familiar with. We are quite familiar with ChatGPT. In fact, it's so funny how ChatGPT has gotten into every aspect of our lives. Like I know that there are people who use ChatGPT as the therapist, right? They go in there, put their problems into chat, share their problems with ChatGPT, and funny enough, ChatGPT give them some very smart responses. But like I always say, when it comes to using technology, you have to be smart, you have to be wise. Putting sensitive information into some of these tools, you really do not know what they're using your data for. And so that's why some companies don't even allow you to use certain tools because probably those companies, they cannot vouch for the data privacy structure that is in place for those tools. And so those are the some things you want to bear in mind. When it comes to using AI tools, please mind sensitive details. But anyway, the point that is to remain is that these tools can be really, really used to in so many ways than one. And when it comes to idea generation and planning, ChatGPT will definitely help you achieve that. So let's just quickly dive into what the different ways ChatGPT can help us, achieve brainstorm content ideas, help us to write a script. So we're just going to do a quick practical um, and see, right? And so, another thing I would like to share at this junction is what I would like to call prompt engineering, right? Is what I would like to call prompt engineering. Your like I've said this before, it is what you put into ChatGPT that ChatGPT will give back to you. And so you need to master prompt engineering when it comes to using AI tools. And prompt engineering is simply the skill of writing clear, effective instructions to get the best possible output from AI models like ChatGPT. I'm saying this because this is why I also always tell people ensure you already have a basic knowledge of what you are asking ChatGPT to do for you. Ensure you have done your own basic research, right? So that when you are putting out a prompt, ChatGPT does not generate generic ideas for you without you knowing. You should be able to tell from the prompts that you put in the kind of information you are looking at ChatGPT, the kind of information you are looking for that ChatGPT should give to you. So let's look at this. Create a 7-day content plan for a tech education brand, targeting African women transitioning into tech, including reels, carousels, and engagement posts. Now, I did not just say, oh, create a 7-day content plan. I went ahead to talk about the niche, which is a tech education brand. I went ahead to talk about the audience, which is African women transitioning into tech. Then I went ahead to talk about the type of what the content plan should be used for. It should, I went ahead to share that it should, create a 7-day content plan, including reels, carousels, and engagement posts as well. So basically, give me a minute. Let's go back. So basically, right, I already have an idea of what the tech education brand is about. I already have an idea of the target audience. So let's see what ChatGPT would, give to us. And another thing I would like to say at this juncture is that no matter how detailed your prompt can be, ChatGPT, you can always keep tweaking the prompt, right? The first step is to ensure that your prompt is detailed enough. Then the second step is once it has given you, it has given you feedback, right? Or it has given you what you asked for. You want to look through and ask yourself, can I still tweak this prompt for me to get better results, right? So when it comes to using AI tools, it's all about getting the best possible results as you can get, right? And not just generic, not just fluffy stuff. So in this case, right, ChatGPT has shared the 7-day content plan. I would go through. What I would typically do is to go through and see if this looks like what I'm looking for. And from what I can see, it's actually what I'm looking for. Now, I love how ChatGPT did not just give me headlines. It went ahead to talk about the content of each of these posts, right? The content. So we have one, a relatable hook reel. It's a reel with relatable hook. It says, signs you are ready to transition into tech. The hook looks like, if you've ever said, I'm tired of this job, this is for you. You know what makes this a powerful hook? Because a lot of people can relate to it. And that is why ChatGPT called it a relatable hook. So that is the sweet part of using AI tool, right? It helps put your thoughts together, or it helps arrange things in such a way that it just makes life easier for real, right? With this prompt, it's generated topic, it generated a hook for me, and it went ahead to generate sub-content ideas that can help me further flesh this particular content out. If I wanted it to go ahead and do everything for me, like I could tell ChatGPT, this will go ahead and write everything about it, tell me what the video should look like, tell me what I should add. ChatGPT is going to do it for you. And so this is one way to, utilize ChatGPT. I know we already use ChatGPT, but like I said, it all boils down to your prompt. How do you use your prompt, right? Is there clarity in your instruction? Is there specificity of what you want? And are you providing enough context? So those are 3 things when it comes to using any AI tool. 1, you have to be clear. That is clarity. Number 2, you have to be specific. That is specificity. And then number 3, you have to provide context, right? Your context matters a lot. And that is why I didn't just say, oh, ChatGPT, create a 7-day content plan for a tech education brand. No, I went ahead to be specific. I went ahead to talk about what I want, who I'm doing it for, and the type of content I'm looking at for. So that is definitely one way to, utilize an AI tool, and one way ChatGPT can come in handy. Always ensure that, your prompts are very, very good. I will just, go ahead and say a few more things about prompt engineering, right? There's a basic structure of a good prompt, and I think I'm just going to share. There's a basic structure of good prompts. Number 1, the role, who the AI should act as, right? Number 2, task. What do you want it to do? So, for instance, you can say, help me generate this as a content creator. That is the role. The task is what you want it to do. The context, background information, format, how the answer should look. So you have to go ahead and break these things down. So let me give you an example. right? Another example of a prompt we can use. Let's see if we can do this real quick. Act as a digital marketing expert. Explain the basics of social media marketing, for instance, for a small business owner. With no prior experience. We can go ahead and say use simple language and give 3 practical examples. Okay, so I was talking about what makes a good prompt, right? The role, right? You can tell ChatGPT to assume a role. Then the task, what do you want it to do? What in this case, what I want it to do is explain the basics. Then the context, right? The context around it is that you're explaining the basics of social media marketing for a small business owner, right? With no prior experience. Then I went ahead to talk about how I want it to look like, the format. And so let's see what it generates for us basically. So you can see that just based off my prompts, ChatGPT assumed the role of a digital marketing expert and is doing exactly what I shared. The whole point that what I had to get back is that I want you to know that you have to, prompt engineering is actually a tech role. People get hired as prompt engineers. You have to master the art of knowing the right prompts to use so that you can get the best possible result, right? And people take this as profession. I'm not even kidding. There are people who are prompt engineers, right? Who all their job is to ensuring that they're putting the right prompt and generating the best possible outcomes that there is for the companies or for brands and so on and so forth. All right, so that is it, right? Every other AI tool under this idea generation and planning category all function like ChatGPT, right? They all function like ChatGPT. That's why I helps you focus on it's a content generation generator that focus on marketing copy. It's very good for brand voice and tone. One thing I know about Jasper AI is that it will get your brand tone and voice accurately. All you just need to do is to describe your brand, describe what it is that you want, and it will get the voice and tone very, very well, right? So all of these tools are tools that you can use to generate ideas and planning. We'll just go right into the next one, which is script writing and copy tools. Now, earlier I had stated that, or I should probably restate that just because they're in categories doesn't mean that they cannot do what, just doesn't mean that, for instance, we categorize this as script writing and copy tools. It doesn't mean that ChatGPT cannot generate script. I mean, it did just now, right? But I'm just simply trying to categorize them based on their strengths and based on their best capacity or capabilities, right? One thing I know is that when it comes to script writing and copy tools, right? Writer is very good. Writesonic is very good. Peppertype.ai are very good. Remember, these are also alternative tools you can have in mind, right? So let's say ChatGPT is down, for instance. You know that you have other tools that you can check out. So for script writing and copy tools, we have Writesonic. This is an AI writing assistant for scripts, captions, ads, and landing page. We have Writer, simple AI writer that generates content in various tones and styles, focusing on short form text like hooks and captions. We have Peppertype AI, AI content tool that helps produce targeted copy in seconds for social media, blogs, and product descriptions, right? So we're going to check out one shortly. Let's check out Writer and let's see how Writer typically function. Okay, so let's look at Writer. Let's look at Writer. All right, so give me a minute. I had this here before, so I'm just going to I'm just going to refresh basically so that we can have a fresh slate. Oh, I thought we are going to have a fresh slate. Okay, so let me see if I can cancel this. All right. So that we can just start from the very beginning. All right, so this is what writer looks like, right? We have documents where documents are saved. When you're done working on documents, it can save automatically here. Then we have, this is where you write. This is basically the document you write on, or where content will be generated in. We have charts. We have history as well. That's basically history of everything you've searched. So let's see how writer typically works, right? So you just come over here. Again, this is a web version, right? It might definitely look different from mobile version. All apps and software always look different on the mobile version. But one thing is certain is that these tools are very easy to navigate. All right, so let's say, first of all, it has options for you here. You can select your language, you can select the tone, voice you want the content to have. Then it has something called a use case. Do you want to generate content for a blog? Do you want to generate blog session writing ideas? Do you want to generate you want writing for business, for business pitch? Do you want business idea? It has different things. Do you want to generate content to help you reply an email? Do you want content for your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn ads? As many as possible. You can just keep going and keep going and keep going, right? So in this case, I will just choose a Facebook post. It's already there. And then I could choose my tone as appreciative. And what I can do here is post type, right? So what do I want my post to be about? So I can just come here and say appreciation for a customer that bought a dress, right? And the key message could just be appreciation. We have different variants. So variant simply means alternatives, right? Alternative content for what you've requested for, right? And then you come over here, there's creativity. This is where we have creativity. So do you want low or high creativity, medium creativity, or even none at all? So we'll just select optimal, right? So once you're done filling in all these details, your language and everything, you can just come here and click write for me, and let's see what writer automatically generates. So you can see that it has generated something here on our document. A heartfelt thank you to our wonderful customer for choosing one of our dresses. Your support means the world to us, and we're truly grateful that you trusted us to be part of your style journey. We hope you love your new dress as much as we loved creating it for you. Your satisfaction inspires us every day. Thank you for being such an amazing part of our community. So this is a Facebook post appreciating a customer that bought a dress. So we can come here and choose another tone. So we can choose humorous, for instance, and writer will still generate content in that tone, right? So we chose humorous. Let's see what it says. A big shout out to the fabulous customer who just snagged that stunning dress. You didn't just buy a dress, you adopted a new best friend for your wardrobe. Thank you for making our day and your closets way more fabulous. Right, like the superstar you are, right? So you can just go ahead and keep selecting keep tweaking the tone. If you don't like the tone, if you want it to sound assertive, if you want it to sound a certain way, you can always select, right? So that's basically what writer is about. It simply just literally helps you to, generate content in various tones and styles, focusing on short form text like hooks and caption. Writer is very, very good when it comes to copy, right? For your Facebook post, for your, for your ads, right? You can just write there, oh, I'm about to run an ad targeting X and X people. This is how I want the ad to look like. And writer will generate a very good copy for you. So I would really, really encourage you to explore some of these tools that I'm sharing. Explore writer more. I think it's a bit flexible. You don't need to pay to start using writer. So yeah. please go ahead and keep trying that out. The next thing we have is AI voice and audio. With the advent of, content, video content, one of the things that you would find very useful is, voiceovers, right? You would most likely need voiceovers when it comes to certain kind of content. There's a lot of storytelling going around on social media and on the internet, right? TikTok. So sometimes you might want to use AI to either clone your voice or use AI generated voice to be able to, you know, to act as a voiceover over your videos, right? So when we're talking about AI for voice and audio, we're simply talking about text-to-speech platforms. So all of these tools are text-to-speech platforms that generate natural human-like voices from text with emotional tones and voice cloning. Like I already said, some of these tools are paid for, and so you have to bear that in mind. But let's try out 11 Labs and let's see how 11 Labs can help us, generate voice, generate speech to our text. So let's head over to 11labs.com and let's see what that looks like. 11 Labs AI. Okay, so I would have to sign up. Let me see if I think I should have. I think I think I have an account with this particular mail. So let's see. Hmm. So 11 Labs is one of the, popular text-to-speech tools out there, and it's just quite it's very, very effective, to be quite honest. Very, very effective, right? But that's a lot of paid version. Let me move. Let me just put my name. Let me just put the name so that we can move and I can show you literally how you can use it. I know I do have an account somewhere, but it's not on this, but it's not with this particular mail. So let's see. So this is just the onboarding process. And also let's choose text to speech. Remember, this already has there are a lot of paid tools embedded in the tool. So let's see. This is the plan. Basically, this is the plan, right? Um, let's wait it out to see how it generates for us. Okay. So all you simply need to do, right? You can come here to, like, it's a whole lot. It's typically a whole lot. Like, this is a whole lot, right? 11 Labs, it's a studio on its own. There's so much sound effect, voice changer. There's so much you can do with this particular app. So typically you would come in here and write something, right? So let's say, hello, my name is Jane. And you can just simply come here and generate speech. Let's see. Okay, so free tier usage has been disabled. Yeah, so it used to have a free version. It definitely used to have a free version, but unfortunately it has been disabled. But this is what 11 Labs look like, right? We have it's a studio, like it's a whole lot. It is a very useful tool. I know this because I've happened to use this for my clients before. And so I know what the potentials of this tool, trust me. So that's on 11 Labs, and that's what 11 Labs look like. Unfortunately, we're not able to, explore it because the free version is out. and so on and so forth. Let's check Morph AI and see if Morph AI has a free version before we move ahead. But like I said, you can use 11 Labs to clone your voice. I'm sure most of you must have seen that trend that was happening on TikTok where people go about doing stuff and then there's a male voiceover. It's a popular voiceover. The voice gets to describe who the person in the video is, tell them what they are doing, tells us what they are doing. I don't know if anybody, can recall that trend, but a lot of people used 11 Labs to be able to generate those kind of, voice that was used in that trend. Let's check Morph AI and let's see what it has for us. Let's see what it has for us. Okay. So just like every other app, you have to log in. Let's see. So you log in and then when you log in, it's also very easy to navigate. Yeah, very, very easy to navigate as well. But it's a paid tool. It's actually a paid tool. I do remember, right? So a lot of these tools are paid, but like I said, the whole aim of sharing this with you is so that you can be able to know that these tools exist and they can be used effectively for your content creation journey, right? We also have the script, all-in-one audio video editor with AI voice cloning and transcription features, right? So these are tools under AI voice and audio. I really, really wish 11 Labs worked. I thought the free version is still very much on, but unfortunately, I think they've taken that out of the way, and that must have been very recent. All right, so we have AI video and avatar generation, right? So for this, when we talk about um when we're talking about avatar generation, what we're simply saying is that it's basically the process of creating a digital version of a person or character using AI or design tool. So that's what these tools are for. They help you to create a digital version of a person, right? Um, um, Using design tools. So these avatars can be used for social media, can be used for content. So let's say, for example, you don't want to show up on camera, you can decide to use an avatar to be able to show up for you, to be able to create content with, right? So the most popular of that would be Agen, right? Agen is a very popular AI video generator tool that creates human-like avatar videos from text. Great for explainer. Yes, very true. You can use these tools for explainer videos and social videos as well. We have Synthesia, AI video platform for creating professional avatar videos with different languages and voices. So when it comes to Synthesia, I say it's a bit it's an upgraded version. It's a more advanced, tool from Agent or from any of the, you know, tools that are here. We also have Pika Labs. Let's just check out Pika Labs. Let's check out. I think there's a free version of for Pika Labs. Let's see how that looks like. Pika Labs AI. Mm, mm, okay. I think I have one here. Okay. All right. So this is what the Pika Lab app is. So it helps you turn prompts into short cinematic video clips for content creation, right? That is what it literally does. It helps you generate cinematic clips for for short cinematic clips for content. All right. So all you simply need to do is we have the inspiration. We have Pika Effect, we have library, all these are just features, special features in the tool. So all you simply need to do is come here, describe your story. You simply need to come here, describe your story, and then it will generate that exactly for you. So let's go to ChatGPT and ask it to help us create something so that we can put in, so we can put in we can put on Pika Labs and see what it generates for us. Okay, so kindly come up with a prompt to use for collabs. Let's see. Okay. Hmm. You know what? You can use ChatGPT to do it, but or you can just be very simple. So let's. I don't like. I think what ChatGPT is gives a bit. It's a bit. It might. It's a whole lot of moving parts, right? So let's just do something simple. Generate a man walking walking beside trees and a man walking beside. Oh my God. So it has to be a story. A man walking barefoot. Hmm. Let's see. A man walking across the road and he sees something scary and he runs. So this is just an example. So let's just see. Let's see what Pika Labs can do, right? Remember, this is an AI, avatar generator tool. So let's see. You can see it's taking a bit of time, but let's wait a minute and see how it picks up. Mm. So it's taking a bit of time, but I really, really want to show you what Picalab can do. It will basically generate a video of this text that I shared. And this is also the free version. Mm. So let's retry. Okay, so this is obviously taking way long, right? Way, way long than it should. But the whole idea is this, right? When you put in a story, right, it can help you create cinematic short clips. that you can use for your social media that can actually boost your creativity as well. So that's what it typically looks like. Just because this is not the paid version. Okay. Oh, it has helped us to generate. Let's see. Good. He sees something scary and he runs, right? A man walking across the road, he sees something scary and he runs. And that's exactly what played out. I hope you can see my screen. So if I wanted to be more detailed, I can say, oh, a Black African woman. I can say in Nigeria. I can add more details, and Pika would generate that for me. You can see this is so realistic. I hope you can see my screen. Very realistic, just like an actual human. So that's what Pika Labs looks like, and it's a really good tool. So trust me, it's a fun tool, and it would go a long way. We should also check out Agen as well, which is also a video generator that creates human-like avatar videos. I think it also has a free version, so let's check it out. Let's check it out. We are almost there. Okay, I have a lot of tabs being opened. So let's say all you simply need to do is come here and put a script, right? So you can say, this is the interface. It's always very easy to navigate. In fact, I read somewhere that if your AI tool is hard to navigate, then it's not AI enough, right? AI is supposed to be a tool that people can easily manipulate and work on. If the only difficult part would be the technicalities, right? The layering of content. Probably, for example, people who create cinematic movies from AI, you should tell that there's going to be a lot of work involved. But the point is, basic AI tools like these are very easy to navigate. So let's put a script and then look for an avatar to help us to say something. Hi. Let's say hi. My name is Jane, right? So you can decide to choose your avatar, change and look. Okay. After doing that, you can open AI Studio and let's see what that looks like. Again, it's taking a bit of time. Just hold on. All right, so let's preview.
Hi, my name is Jane.
See? So,
Hi, my name is Jane.
give me minutes. It's supposed to.
Hi, my name is Jane. Hi, my name is Jane.
So, final lip sync video is generated after it is saved. All right. So when you generate it, then you would see it. You would actually see this is supposed to be moving, right? This person is supposed to be talking exactly the text that I had put in, right? So when you generate the video, let's see if we're able to generate this. Okay, so it's loading, and then we can play it and see how it looks like even better. It's taking a lot of time to load. So other things there's so many other things you can do with agent, right? Um, Apart from the use of avatars, there's so many other things you can do as well. So while that is loading, right, we're just going to be talking about, let's see. Okay, so it has loaded. Let's play.
Hi, my name is Jane.
See? As simple as that. So if you want to lay up it like it can be longer, of course, right? But this is the free version. And so
Hi, my name is Jane.
this is what it typically looks like. So you can create a full script and have an
Hi, my name
avatar,
is Jane.
speak on your behalf. So that's the beauty of AI, right? There's literally nothing you can do. So there are other tools. Like I said, Synthesia is a more advanced level of this. Let's go to the next one, which is AI image generation, right? AI image generation. So let's say you want to generate image using prompt. These are some of the tools you can use. We have DALL-E, we have Stable Diffusion, we have Leonardo AI, we have Binge Image Creator, we have Canva AI image tools. How many of us know that Canva has an AI feature, doing by Wombo Artbreeder, right? So these are some of the tools to generate images from text, great for visuals and thumbnails, right? Yeah, so let's try Binge Image Creator and see what it looks like. Binge Image Creator. It's a very popular one. I think Binge Image Creator is one of the first AI that I personally came in contact with. Like this is the first AI tool, one of the first AI tool that I got acquainted with. And yeah, so let's see how that looks like. So let's say it says describe the image you want created or select surprise me to get inspired. So let's just select an image. A black lady with afro hair, right? That's a simple prompt, really. And let's see what that looks like. Oh, I need to sign in and create. This is going to take a long process, but let's see if we can do it. Let's see. Oh, this is going to take a while because now I have to use the Microsoft. To log in, I have to use Microsoft details to log in because this is attached to Microsoft, unlike Google. All right, but when you put in your image, right, you simply need to just tap on create and it will generate the exact image that you want, right? There are even options here that you can imitate, caricature, adventurous images, anything basically, right? So that's about it. I wish we could explore further and be able to, generate an actual image. But this has free versions. I think you can generate up to 4 images per day. So you can actually maximize and use that to your advantage. So in summary, basically, right, the future of content creation is not AI versus humans, right? It's humans who know how to use AI effectively. And the advantage now is that you are learning now. You are learning this right now. So take what you've learned, apply it, right? Go ahead and get yourself acquainted with these tools, right? Like I said, a lot of them are paid, a lot of them will require you to use up their free versions, but regardless, these are all tools that can help your content creation journey very easy. And if you're like me that like to just explore, that like to play around with tools to see how to make my work effective, then I would definitely advise that check out some of these tools. There are other tools that like I said, that I didn't mention. There's Cloud. In fact, there's a conversation right now, ChatGPT versus cloud, which is better. A lot of creators are going for cloud. A lot of professionals are choosing cloud. But ChatGPT, I'm still a ChatGPT girly. But either way, right? The point still remains that the future of content creation is not AI versus humans, it's humans plus with AI, right? So if you want to make your content creation journey more easier, be very open in using these tools, be very open in exploring tools, be very open to see how the good thing is that these tools actually help you creative, right? And help you stand out. Once you've mastered certain tools, certain AI tools, it can help you actually stand out in your content creation. And not to say that when you master tools, it can also help you make more money, right? It can help you make more money because not everybody can, master some of these AI tools, or not many people are interested in mastering them, right? So when you know these tools, you can use them for your clients as well, and it can make you a whole lot of money. It can save you time, it can boost productivity, and it can also help you make money, right? And that would be all essentially for this model. The next step would be your assessment, of course. And of course, this is the last module. I hope you've been able to enjoy everything from module 1 to module 9. I hope you've been able to say that you've learned a lot more about content creation. I hope this session was helpful. I can't wait for us to interact in the group. Trust me, I'm going to be sharing some resources, some extra links, and probably do play around, right? Once the group is open for discussion. But yeah, these are just a peek into a tip of the iceberg, right? There's a whole world that exists out there that is waiting for you to explore. It all starts with you just starting, right? It requires you to be brave, it requires you to be courageous, and most importantly, it requires you to be curious. You see, people who have curious minds, there is no limit to what they can achieve because they're always willing to try, they're always willing to check and, see how to stretch themselves and see to stretch their potentials and they're always curious to want to know how much or how far can they go with whatever they're learning and with whatever they're doing. And I hope that that is the mindset you are applying to this entire process at SDST. I hope that you have that mindset that I want to see how far I can go with this. And it's not just listening, but also gearing up and getting ready to go out there in the world and practice what you've learned. Thank you so much. My name is Achiro Koribe, and it's been a pleasure, teaching you all through the subject matter of mastering content creation. Thank you so much.